Thank you very much, Andrea. But we're going to go ahead and begin.
I was at a music festival with a few people I had just met. When I went to go take a swig of my drink, something didn't taste right. Maybe I was out with a few friends eating at a restaurant, and when I went up to go to the bathroom, somebody grabbed me. Or maybe I was even doing some homework with my boyfriend when he started to get a little touchy. When I told him to stop, he didn't listen. I hear people say, "You drank too much," or, "Well, did you see what you were wearing?" Or, "Well, maybe you should be a little bit more careful next time." Or even, "Well, you're in a relationship, you're supposed to put out." This is the society that we live in today. This is what rape culture is. Within the next few minutes, I hope to inform you guys on what rape culture is and the importance of victim blaming in relation to rape culture, and how, in a few easy steps, we can stop the verbal brutality that rape victims feel every day in today's desensitized society. So, what is rape culture? According to Southern Connecticut State University, rape culture is the environment in which rape is prevalent and sexual assault against women is normalized and excused in the media. Some examples of rape culture, one main example is victim blaming. And under victim blaming, there's trivializing rape by making statements such as, "Boys will be boys," or scrutinizing the way a victim was dressed, her motives, her history, or her mental state. And most importantly, by stating that women should be taught how not to get raped rather than teaching men not to rape. So why do people blame the victim? People tend to blame the victim in order to distance themselves from an unfortunate occurrence that they are vulnerable to. So rather than being supportive of the victim, they want to make themselves seem different from them. Because I'm not like this person, this couldn't happen to me. But of course, that's unrealistic. Why you shouldn't blame the victim, it's pretty simple. By blaming the victim, it makes it very difficult for them to speak out about what happened. They feel ashamed to admit that they've been put through this torture. Essentially, by blaming the victim, you're placing the guilt on them rather than on their abuser, which is just inflicting more pain than they've already felt. This makes the victim feel unsafe, and it also encourages this sexually violent behavior and says, it's okay that this happens, like, it's not the abuser's fault, it's the woman's fault. So before we can start making a change, we have to understand how society currently views victim blaming. In this picture, you can see that we're on the left side where we're blaming rape survivors, we're making them feel isolated, we're silencing them, and we're making them doubt themselves, thinking, well, maybe this actually is my fault. Where we could be supporting them and saying, you can tell me what happened, we believe in you, and this isn't your fault. The Journal of the American Medical Association Pediatrics surveyed approximately 1,014 to 21-year-olds recently. And this survey elaborated on the demographics and consequences of sexual assault among young people. So let's take a look at how people our age currently view rape. For the perpetrators that committed this crime during this time of the survey, they said that they committed their first act of sexual assault around age 16, and every single one of them knew who their victim was. 66% of the cases, nobody even found out about the incident at all. 29% of the people that were found out about didn't even face any consequences for their actions. And most shockingly, 50% of the perpetrators stated that they felt that their victim was completely responsible for what happened. So this is how people our age are currently viewing what rape victims go through. They're saying, well, oh well, this person brought it upon themselves, and that's not how we should do things. According to rapecrisis.org, only 2% of accused rapists are convicted. And it's because of this that some people feel as if, well, this doesn't even happen. This doesn't occur. But when people finally do get the chance to take a step out of their comfort zone and admit that this happened, Some people even state that they're crying rape. This never really happened. They're just saying this to like get publicity or something like that. When really, only 2% of reported rapes are actually false. One very important aspect of rape culture is the media's portrayal of how to prevent rape, in which they almost always put the blame on the victim. So as you can see in this advertisement, it says 1 in 3 reported rapes happen when the victim has been drinking. So obviously you're saying, well, the victim drank too much, it's her fault. End of story. Or you could be stating 3 in 3 reported rapes happen when somebody decides to commit rape. Some other popular news sources that you guys might be aware of are also found doing this. CNN states that the guys that committed the rape were promising students, or ABC made excuses for the rapes, and USA Today stressed that the victim was drunk. This then gets people who are viewing this a sense of sympathy for the abuser rather than the victim, and that just further goes on to say how sexual violence is being portrayed like as something that should be happening rather than something that shouldn't be. So there are a few common misconceptions that go along with victim blaming and rape culture, and almost all of the misconceptions lead to people thinking that it is the victim's fault. So let's look at a few myths and some facts. One myth is that women should not go out alone at night. Women that go out alone at night are vulnerable to being raped by strangers. When in reality, 90% of rapes that occur from someone that the victim has known, maybe even trusted, or even loved. And these can occur in places where the victim once felt extremely comfortable, and that ruins their entire environment for them. Another one is that when a woman says no, she actually means yes, and that's not true either. Legally, a person has the right to stop any sexual contact at any time while they're engaging in sex. And if someone does not respect their partner's decision to do that, then that is sexual assault, and sex without consent is rape. One very popular misconception is that an excuse that could be made is that the woman was drunk, that she was wearing tight clothes, that she led the man on, or that she was asking for it. Legally, if somebody is unconscious or they are under the influence of any drugs or alcohol, they're not in the right state of mind to give consent, so that would be rape. And stating that somebody was dressed a certain way and that provoked rape is pretty much saying, oh, well, this girl walking down the street in a skimpy outfit, she was asking for rape. But a guy walking down the street in a football jersey obviously isn't asking to be tackled. And one of the most unbelievable ones that I found was that some people actually believe women eventually relax and enjoy being raped. Nobody enjoys being raped, just like victims of murder do not enjoy being murdered. So as you can see, those are some things that do not cause rape: tight skirts, eye contact, smiles, alcohol, and of course what does is the rapist themselves. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people like to believe that sexual assault will not happen to them, and that is not true. 1 in 3 girls will be sexually assaulted by the time that they're 18. So somebody that you might be very close friends with, a female, could already be raped and you don't even know about it because she's so ashamed of what happened to even admit it to her closest friends. And guys, this can happen to you too, because 1 in 6 guys have been raped by the time they're 18 also. So just to make things clear, women aren't the enemy, men aren't the enemy, rapists are the enemy. So now let's see how we can start making a change. There are some very easy steps that you can take in order to end victim blaming. First, you could avoid language that objectifies or degrades women. If you hear somebody that makes a joke about rape, speak out about it and say, this is something that should be taken seriously. Or if a friend is able to confide in you and say that they've been raped, take them seriously and make sure they know that you support them. And also, you have to let any survivor know that it's not their fault. You have to hold the abuser accountable for their actions and make sure that they know that they did wrong. When you're in a relationship, or even if you're not, just do not assume consent. Make sure that you have an open discussion with your partner before engaging into any type of physical activity, and make sure that they're comfortable. And most importantly, instead of questioning, why was this girl raped, start questioning, why do people rape? So, in conclusion, rape culture might be the society that we live in today, but it does not have to be the society that we live in forever. By continuously supporting victims, we can put an end to victim blaming and eventually an end